Nyheim Hines has been something of a disappointment for fantasy managers, and with the drop in production over the past few weeks, it's important for us to step back as fantasy managers and figure out what are we supposed to do with him. I mean, we're now here in week 7. We've got the bye apocalypse, the bye NATO, whatever you want to call it, coming up this weekend, and it's important for us to figure out. I mean, what are we going to do with him? Are you going to wind up starting him? Are you going to leave him on your benches? Or in some cases, if you happen to be in a shallower league, are you going to be forced into that decision where he's going to be a straight up drop and you're going to see if somebody else within your league is going to be the one to pick him up? At least for me right now, my recommendation is to go ahead and hold him for the most part. And if you are forced into starting him this week because of injuries, because of bye weeks, whatever the case may be, if you wind up having to start him as an RB2 or flex, you won't see much pushback from me. But here are my concerns. When we drafted Nyheim Hines back in the August time frame, it was because of the role that he had. Last season, he had a 41.2% share of the touches for the running back position within Indianapolis's offense in those hurry up, third down, 2-minute drill type situations, along with having some standalone value in the passing game as well, because it was mostly him, Jonathan Taylor, Jordan Wilkins was being phased out of the offense throughout the back end of the season anyway. This season, we're yet to see that. Part of the reason, though, is context. Part of the reason is because of the game scripts they found themselves in over the past few weeks. In Miami, just 3 weeks ago, they wound up winning by 10 points in that game, typically at the very least a neutral and positive game script, which leads towards more usage for Jonathan Taylor. Same thing a couple of weeks ago when they played against that barn burner against Baltimore. That was more of a Jonathan Taylor type script. And we've seen Jonathan Taylor's role expand in the passing game as well from a routes run perspective. And then even last week when they played against Houston, also calls for more usage from Jonathan Taylor because they were playing from ahead. So our expectation was not that he would even have some sort of pseudo 1A, 1B role with Jonathan Taylor. At the very least, though, there should have been a floor for him, a floor based off of some of the usage in the scenarios that I provided. Third down, hurry up type situation, maybe even rotate in on some passing down work in order to provide him with a few points on a week-to-week basis. Now, throughout the first few weeks of the season, that was the case. Through weeks 4 through 6, that has not been the case, and I want to lay out one of the reasons why. And actually, it really is just one singular reason why. Marlon Mack. Let me go ahead and pull up this chart real quick that I put together for one of the articles that I put together on Footballguys on a weekly basis, drops on Wednesday mornings. It's called My Lessons Learned from the Week. And after the team came out and said that they were going to try and trade Marlon Mack, when the team came to a mutual agreement with Mack as to the fact that they wanted to find a trade partner for him, we can see his usage in the specific situations that I outlined. Third downs, 2-minute hurry up type situations, we immediately see a hit in Hines usage from week 4, week 5, and week 6, where that starts to tick down. At the same time, we see more usage for Mack in those situations on top of the expanded role for Jonathan Taylor. And therein lies our problem as of right now. So while I'm not particularly saying that this is going to be a thing that's going to continue on for the rest of the season, we're already hearing rumors about Marlon Mack possibly being traded to the Chiefs. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. But the key to this is the last 3 games where the team has essentially been in a neutral or positive situation against their opponents. This upcoming week against San Francisco, we'll see if Jimmy G and the 49ers can mount some sort of offense in order to keep that game competitive. And we'll see, especially with the injuries that the Colts have sustained on their defense, especially with their safety tearing their Achilles, we'll see if they actually wind up getting pressed into a situation that favors Nyheim Hines. So while I'm not saying that Hines is a drop candidate as of right now, hopefully the usage and the context of each of those games move back towards using him in the future, and that's where we can start to see more production from Nyheim Hines.